Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Gem Live. Welcome back to another video, and I want to get this out as fast as possible because this game actually happens in a few hours, and I really want to make a prediction on this, and I love making predictions on this channel because I get to kind of say whatever I want, and I get to go back and look at all the times I made these bold, super specific predictions, and I end up being right on them, and it'd actually be fun one day to make a compilation because I was super specific on Trevor Lawrence when he was coming out of high school, what I think he would do for Clemson, and when he'd start, all this stuff, and all the times I was just like blatantly dead wrong. I mean, you guys will never see this. It's my channel. I'll make the compilation. So we'll keep the predictions up to me, but let's get into the video. So in today's video, we're going to be covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs, or more specifically, Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, because they've given us some great games over the years. Tom Brady is currently 2-1 on the series, and they had an AFC Championship game. Tom Brady converted 3 straight 3rd and 10s to win in overtime, didn't even let Patrick Mahomes get the ball, keeping Patrick Mahomes from his first Super Bowl, which they probably definitely would have won because the Rams played awful that game. That was not a very fun Super Bowl to watch. But this is actually the first time they're facing off with Tom Brady on the Buccaneers. And so it's two completely different teams, way more firepower on offense, doesn't have Belichick. We'll get into that in a second. But first I want to talk about the Buccaneers because the trend of lately is their defense is terrible. They have a complete Swiss cheese defense. They make bad quarterbacks look amazing. Like, literally, they can get whatever they want. And they added so much offensive firepower this year, like Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette. They drafted Tristan Wirfs to beef up the offensive line. But after all that, people said the defense is still going to be the best part of this team because this, that, and the other reason. At the beginning of the year, that did look like the case. Their defense was playing unreal. I think they had the #1 overall defense in the NFL at some point. But now they look atrocious. They can't stop the run. Like, quarterbacks are dotting them up. Everything looks easy. Drew Brees had like literally the easiest game of his life when they played him a few weeks ago. So they are 1-2 in the last 3 games, but I'm trying to figure out a way how they're, like, with the way their defense is playing, how they're going to stop Kansas City's actually consistent running game. They've been running the ball a lot better than what anyone's talked about this year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell. They have Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. I just have no idea how they're going to stop them. So on the Buccaneers side, that is very, very scary. And Tom Brady has struggled so much against the pressure. I think, the Buccaneers are 7-4 going into this game. All 4 games, it's because he got a ton of pressure on him. And the Chiefs really aren't known for getting that much pressure. So I think they should be okay on offense, which makes me believe that this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I believe Tom Brady, I think they see the trend now that Tom Brady doesn't do well against pressure, so they're going to do their absolute best to get as much pressure on Tom Brady, sending him weird blitzes, getting him pressure, trying to confuse the young offensive line. So although I think Tom Brady is going to have a lot of success on offense, I really don't think that he's going to, the offense just looks clunky now. It looks like it takes a lot of effort to get things going. It looks like it's a combination of Bruce Arians' offense and Tom Brady's offense where he just wants to run a bunch of checkdowns. Sorry again with the timer. That's the second video in a row. I have no idea why these keep going off. I didn't even know what I set that for. But so anyways, and what I really wanted to talk about is I think the most important thing that not too many people are talking about is this beef with Tom Brady and Bruce Arians. It's becoming to get so toxic, and I really start to think like this relationship between Belichick and Brady is so polar opposite, because with Belichick and Brady, I just kind of pictured like Buddy from Elf versus like literally the Grinch, like two polar opposite people. Tom Brady's literally the nicest, sweetest guy ever. Belichick doesn't care about anyone or anything besides winning football games. But they had so much respect for each other. Tom Brady said, I will be so consistent. I'm going to be pinpoint accurate. And once the defense slips up, I'm not going to miss on a deep ball. We're going to score. We're going to win games. I'm going to dirt the ball. If it's not there, I'm going to protect the ball. And Belichick is like, all right, Tom Brady, you do that on offense. I got the defense. And in Super Bowls, when they needed Tom Brady to come back and make a game-winning drive, Belichick could count on Brady. When they find themselves in a big hole and then Belichick knows, I need to step up, the defense needs to step up, they did. They were able to win 6 Super Bowls together. I don't think they ever liked each other, but Bill Belichick never publicly criticized Tom Brady, and they respected each other. They never liked each other. Bruce Arians, he's the fun coach. He likes to chuck it deep, and that's just not who Tom Brady is. While I think they would get along a lot better when they go out for like dinner, this is a problem because they've lost 4 times. After all 4 games, Bruce Arians has come out and publicly criticized Tom Brady because he's not he's getting confused by coverages. He's missing wide open receivers. He's not being accurate. And this is just not a very good look. I mean, it's not that Tom Brady is beyond reproach because everyone's open for criticism, but the fact that he's going publicly kind of like criticizing, trying to blame Tom Brady, like it's not my fault. Like my offense worked. Like you see how many yards we put up last year. It's Tom Brady messing up the offense. It's him not being this. He's kind of getting older. Like this is starting to get really bad. And when you don't have that trust in your coach, like this is what we saw with the Ravens last year on the other side of the spectrum. We saw John Harbaugh have so much trust in Lamar Jackson, where if Lamar Jackson says it's 4th and 3 on our own 20-yard line, like I got this. And John's like, okay, that builds rapport, that builds team chemistry. That is so much more important than people ever give it credit for. And Tom Brady and Bruce Arians do not have that. It is not a very fun relationship. Okay, now looking at the other team, the Kansas City Chiefs, looking at their defense first, because their defense started to look just like the Buccaneers defense, a lot better. They, through midway point of last year till the Super Bowl, they looked really, really good. They stopped the run well. They stopped Derrick Henry in the playoffs. They held him to like his like season low or like playoff low, like by far. Their defense on the second end was looking very good. But similarly to the Buccaneers, their defenses looked a lot worse and more like the AFC Championship game defense, where Patrick Mahomes had all this firepower but weren't able to beat the Patriots because their defense just wasn't that great. It kind of looks like more like that, as not saying they couldn't turn it around because they kind of turned it around last season, but the defense does concern me a little bit. But since the Buccaneers offenses look so clunky, and not only that, but not converting, like 3rd and 5 is like Brady's money zone. Like, if you spread it out and you give him so many options and he only needs to get 5 yards, that's Brady in New England. It felt like he converted that like 90% of the time. Like there was always a running back to flip it to. He had Gronk, he had Edelman, and now he has even more talent around him. He still has Gronkowski, he still hasn't been able to get it done. So that's why I think the Chiefs defense will look a lot better than the Buccaneers defense does. And right now, Patrick Mahomes is unstoppable. Kind of this whole year, his 2 interceptions, the one last week against the Raiders was kind of bad, but the other one was just kind of a chuck up against the Raiders late in the game. Don't really count that. Patrick Mahomes has played amazing this year. If you want to go like fully in depth about that, I made a video earlier. But what I want to talk about with the Chiefs is like when they want to make a statement, when they need to win a game. And I believe this has happened 3 times throughout the season, because a lot of times I think they can just go into the game and they'll be like, okay, we're going to run our offense. We're going to play our defense. We're just the better team. We don't really need to do anything that special. They've won all their games besides one. But the games where they really were like, we need to make a statement. In a playoff game, you need to make a statement because you need to win the game. But this has happened against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, 2 huge teams. They put together a game plan. They say, we need to beat the Ravens. They destroyed them. It didn't even look close. The score wasn't close, and it looked like even further from that. I would say the Bills, a potential team they could meet in the playoffs. I said they destroyed the Bills. The third one is they did lose their first week to the Raiders. The Raiders did their little victory lap. That made me so mad. I mean, Andy Reid, he had to have been so pissed at John Gruden for doing that, driving the bus around their stadium. But they knew they needed to win the second game against the Raiders because it's a statement game. And they did just that. They didn't do it, and they didn't blow them off the field because the Raiders actually are a very, very good team. But they executed an amazing, very Brady-esque, game-winning drive with like 1 minute left. It was beautiful, and they really stuck it to them. They showed, yep, we can blow you off the field, and if it comes down to it, we have probably the most clutch quarterback in the game right now, up there with like Aaron Rodgers. And I believe this is going to be their fourth statement game of the year, and I don't think they're going to break trend. I actually think they could blow the Buccaneers out because I think they're going to hop on them early. I think their defense is going to hold up early, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to embarrass the one-on-one matchup with Mahomes Brady. So on the stat sheet, it's going to look like 2-2, but Mahomes is going to be like, hey, I'm up and coming, you're almost out, I'm going to be dominating this league for the next 10 years, step aside, because I really don't think anything's going to stand in Patrick Mahomes' way this game. They can't get any pressure, and if they do send pressure, which the Buccaneers love to do, I saw this stat, Patrick Mahomes has a 98 QBR against the blitz. That's almost perfect. I mean, that's from 0 to 100. He's a 98 against the blitz, and you're telling me the Buccaneers like to blitz? So either they blitz them and they get picked apart, or they don't send pressure and get picked apart. And if they kind of do something in the middle, they can run it and then, like, literally, I don't know what you do about the Chiefs' offense. Like, the fact that they don't score almost every possession, like, kind of blows my mind because, I mean, you have top 3, top 5 receiver in the game, the best tight end, the best quarterback, a good offensive line, a good running game. Like this, I think the Chiefs could score. I think they'll get 35, or they'll get 28 to 35 by the start of the first quarter. I don't know how much they'll end with because they might go into some more clock management, but I think they're going to absolutely run up and down the field on Tampa Bay. So this is definitely the game to watch this week. This is Mahomes and Brady's fourth matchup. Will we have another great battle, and will it come down to the end, or do you think, like me, the Chiefs are kind of going to run them up and down the field? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and will this be another prediction I get right? And if not, you'll never see this in the prediction compilation. Like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the videos get noticed. I really appreciate every single person that comments on these videos and watches them to the end, leaves a thumbs up. Really means a lot. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, have a great day. Peace!